Today we're going to be talking about making double welting. Double welting is cut on the bias, and the strips are 2 inches wide. And what I'm using here, I happen to have a 2-inch wide template that we use here at this shop. So I'm going to be cutting or tracing off right on the bias line because I've already prepared my fabric for the bias strips. If you need to understand how to get your 45-degree bias line, see our video on making single welt. Okay, I'm going to be showing you 2 different methods for making double welting. One will be using double welting, actually purchased double welting, where there's 2 strands. They're just the standard 5/32 welt that are held together with threads. They're kind of wrapped around and intermingled, so you can kind of see that they separate a little bit. Can you see that? And then the other method is to use regular standard single welt, and I'll show you both methods on how to do it. Showing you first how to do your double welting using purchased double welting. Okay, so here's my 2-inch wide strip that I've already pre-cut, and then here's the double welting. I just leave it on the spindle and peel it off as I need it. If you have a situation where you are doing a lot of double welting for a particular project and you need more length than what I have here, I just have 1 strip at the moment here, see our single welt video that shows how to join the ends. You want to place your double welting right along the cut edge, on one cut edge. Doesn't matter which side, as long as it's one of them. The idea is we don't want to have a bunch of fabric sticking out on this side. I'm going to place it underneath the double welting foot. See, the machine is always, I set up the machine with the double welting foot so you can see that both weltings are being split by the middle toe, and then they're both riding underneath the foot on either equally under each side. It's very important to keep your fabric under control as you're doing this. There are some machines that will want to pull the fabric through faster than the welting will go through. So when that happens, it's very important that you really hold tight. I use a death grip here when I'm holding this, and I'm actually even pulling it up a little bit more, getting a little bit more stress under the fabric to make sure that it doesn't gather up as you sew. Once you do that, just let the machine pull it through. You can see where it starts to pull up a little bit, so it's really important that you hold tight of the fabric. I purposely let go of the last edge just so you can see what really happens if you don't hold the fabric tight. So that's not what we want. We want to make sure that it stays straight and taut. And then you want to tape the ends together. Before you cut. All right, next step. You're going to go back to the beginning, and you're going to fold the welting. You're going to take it, fold it, and then one more time like that. Okay. Now you're going to slide it back underneath the foot with the middle toe centered right under that where the 2 separate. Hold your thread tail. There. Okay, so now you're going to fold it, roll it, so you're actually rolling it twice for this particular method. Let the machine pull it through. next step is to take your scissors. You need a good sharp pair of scissors, and you come around behind, get up as close to the stitching as you can, and cut. Should be about 1/8 of an inch when you get that far. Okay? You turn it over, and then here's your beautiful double welt. So it's ready to be glued onto your project. Second method is to show you how to do double welting using a single welting cord. Not everybody can have acquire double welting, so if you have a single welting, you can still make a double welt. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your 2-inch wide bias strip that we cut previously, and you're going to wrap it similar to the way you would do to make single welting for this first step, but keep it as the fabric seam allowance here as small as you possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to slide it under here. Get my thread there. Okay. Okay, so make it as small as you possibly can. So this the whole length. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is to grab another length of your cording. You want to lay it just right up next to the other one, like that. Okay? Lay it flat, fold it over like that, and then turn the whole assembly over like this. Okay? So you're going to see this other stitching, and you're going to be stitching exactly on that line when you're using a welting foot, double welting foot. Okay. Now what's going to be important is when you're doing this, that this seam allowance really does need to be very small. If you end up with it being longer and sticking out more, what's going to happen when you sew it, one side will look fatter than the other, so it's really important that you keep that seam allowance as small as you can on that first step. There's your second pass, and we're just going to turn over and trim again, just like on the first one. Okay, and this is now ready to glue onto your project that you're working on. So there are a couple of advantages to this one here as opposed to the purchased double welting. But one thing you'll notice is that one looks slightly bigger than the other, and that seems to be that it's always going to typically be like that. Maybe it depends on the fabric, but this is a velvet that I'm working with now, so it's almost the same, looks really nice, but it is slightly larger than the purchased double welt. But one thing that is nice about it is it seems to be more flexible than the single welt, the purchased double welt. Now there are times when you really want it to be stiffer, but there are times when being able to turn the corner would be a nicer option. So those are once you understand that, then it's up to you to decide which method is going to work best for you. And of course, there's always the availability issue. Not everybody can find a double welt cord. So being able to sew with a single double welt makes it a nice option.